Well, since the Tuesday night semifinals, everybody's been waiting for this one. It's the 6A boys basketball title game between Reading, the champions of District 3, and Roman Catholic, the champions of District 12. My name is Bob Long on the broadcast call. Alongside me is the Hall of Fame head coach, Warren Goodling. And Warren, these are the ones that you come out to the gym for. These are the big-time contests between two programs with established legacies looking to put another notch in the belt.
And each one of these programs looked at the bracket when it came out a couple weeks ago and said, you know what, we might be meeting them in the finals, and it's going to happen tonight.
It sure is. Reading, a team coached by Rick Perez, a tremendous coach, and really a guy who has brought more than basketball. It is a program at Reading. And on the Roman Catholic side, Chris McNesby. Few times he's had the opportunity to come to these games. They've won every time. 3 titles for him, 1 for Matt Griffin, who coached recently. Chris McNesby gave up coaching for a couple of years to be with his family back in the 2018 time frame. Matt Griffin came on. He had a great run and then went to coach at the college level, an assistant at Albany, now down at Florida Gulf Coast. So there was an opening at Roman Catholic, and they said, you know what, who better to bring back but Chris McNesby? And he is just a tremendous coach. So is Rick Perez. We talked about him, and Bruce Badgley is with Rick Perez down on the floor.
Okay, Bruce Badgley down on the court pregame with Coach Rick Perez, Reading High. Rick, you talked to your team last week. You played a semifinal to play 32 more minutes. What did you tell the guys this week?
Listen, we're just playing for forever now. We're just playing for forever. This is the last 32 minutes or even more if need be. And just come out here and continue making the sacrifices that they're willing to make, and let's put it all out on the line for each other.
What's the key for your team to come out victorious tonight and win a state title?
Well, they're a very smart, very skilled basketball team. Number one is an exceptional basketball player. Got to make sure that we contain him, contain their athleticism. We got to muck it up a little bit and, play Reading High basketball.
Well, listen, thank you very much. Best of luck, all right? Back up to Bob.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Rick Perez. What a great interview that is, and always so willing to give us his time. Expect to hear from Chris McNesby shortly as well. But the leading scorer for Reading, Ruben Rodriguez, recently hit 2,000 points and did so on Tuesday night with his final bucket of the state semifinal. Rodriguez will have to be big for Reading to win the contest. He also talked about, Rick Perez did, Xavier Brown and how talented he is. I'm sure we'll hear about that from Chris McNesby, who Bruce has courtside.
Okay, Bruce Badgley down on the court. Roman Catholic head coach Chris McNesby. Chris, I'll tell you what, how special is this atmosphere here at the Giant Center?
Yeah, it's great to be back. 2 great teams. Looking forward to a great game.
What's your team going to have to do well tonight to come out with a state championship?
They're a really tough team. First and foremost, we got to keep our composure. They're going to have runs. We're going to have runs, so we got to keep our composure in that. And then they're going to be physical, so we got to match their physicality. They're going to try to press. We got to handle the pressure. We got to rebound the basketball.
Listen, Chris, thanks for your time. Best of luck. All right, we'll see you later. Up the Bob.
Thank you again, Bruce, and thanks to Chris McNesby. Well, it was almost a carbon copy, those two conversations. It started out by respect for the opponent and what they need to do well. And I don't think any of that is fake. I think both of these coaches, they know each other well. They've been in the business for a long time. There is a lot of mutual respect between these two programs. And, Warren, these are the last 2 6A champions. Reading 2 years ago, Roman Catholic last year.
And we will never forget the Reading win 2 years ago against Archbishop Wood, where they was just incredible. I think it was a 1-point win. But they had so much desire and determination. They were not going to go away, and they got the title. And then last year, I believe Roman won that game last year, and they did a good job last year.
They did. They played Archbishop Wood. Daniel Skillings, who's now playing his basketball at Cincinnati, went for 31 points. Khalil Farmer was a big part of that as well. But you know who else was there throughout all of that? Xavier Brown, the 4-year point guard. He became just the 22nd player in the history of Roman Catholic to score 1,000 points. Why is that so difficult, Warren? Well, a lot of times it's because guys aren't playing meaningful minutes until their sophomore her junior year. Certainly not from a leading scorer standpoint. But Xavier Brown came in as a freshman and as a sophomore, took a major starting, scoring, and ball handling role, and he's been there ever since. He's headed to St. Joe's next year.
And he really stepped up in the playoffs this year. He had 27 against Lower Marion, and 29 against Archbishop Wood. Okay, and if you remember last year's championship game, a guy came off the bench, did a nice job, got a lot of rebounds, scored maybe 10 points inside, was Sharif Jackson. And he was just a freshman last year.
And now he's bigger, wider, better footwork, and more experience.
Yeah, and you could see last year he was really going to be a great player this year. And he's only a sophomore, and he really does a great job down low and getting rebounds and scoring inside.
I think that'll be a really key matchup, Sharif Jackson. And will it be Audris Rodriguez that goes up against him? Will they put Maliko Samanu, the junior, at 6'5"? I think whoever it is will have a really difficult matchup against Sharif Jackson. And listen, there's a challenging matchup for Roman Catholic as well. It's the entire Reading defense. They're going to pick you up 94 feet, and they're going to be a team that is going to make you uncomfortable on the ball. Makes this next part of the contest really interesting. 2 of the 5 starters for Roman Catholic, Jeremiah Stewart-Herring, as well as Eric Oliver Bush, throughout the entire regular season, declared ineligible for the PIAA state playoffs. This is a Roman Catholic team that only went 6 deep throughout essentially the entirety of Philadelphia Catholic League play. Do a little quick math. 6 minus 2 is 4. That means you have a starter, Warren, that had essentially no time in the regular season in Catholic League play, and they had to come into the playoffs fresh. It hasn't burned them to this point, but I think Reading is going to lock set on those guys and see if they can't create some turnovers.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see because Reading, they wear you down as the game goes on because of every possession you have to use energy to get the ball to the right spot. And it's going to be interesting to see if Roman Catholic has enough depth to maintain their freshness as we go into the fourth quarter.
Those that did not really see the time in the regular season that we expect to see tonight, some combination of Sebastian Edwards, a sophomore, William Felder, a sophomore, and a freshman, Bryce Hillman. It's going to be one heck of a night. It's the nightcap, and it is the 12th and final game of the PIAA Basketball State Championships at the Giant Center. Before we wrap this thing up, we got one more champion to crown. Will it be Reading, with a massive following filling up most of the lower bowl here at the Giant Center? Or will it be Roman Catholic to win their 2nd straight state title, their 5th overall, and can they keep that perfect goose egg in the loss column in games played on this floor? We'll find out soon enough. Reading will be wearing red today, a Reading red. You know that. The Red Knights, they travel well. It's a red wave across the Giant Center here tonight, and Roman Catholic will be the home team on the scoreboard and will wear white. Let's send it down to Bob Schellenberg. He is the public address announcer here tonight who will introduce the Red Knights.
Chocolate Town, USA. It's the sweetest place on earth. The beautiful Giant Center, proud to play host to the 2023 PIAA Basketball Championships. Our final game of championship weekend, our 6A championship game. They represent District 3, a record of 31-1, the Reading High School Red Knights. Their opponent, they're from District 12, a record of 27-3, the Roman Catholic High School Kaolites. And now let's meet the starting lineups. First of all, for Reading, head coach Rick Perez, varsity assistant Francis Camara, Brian Bankert, Sean Richardson, Quincy Tryman, Ruben Rodriguez, Dominic Greglinski, Matt Anthony, and Jamie Odegaard. Here's the starting 5 for the Red Knights. He'll start at a forward, 6'2" senior. He's wearing 0, Amir Berdeen. Wearing number 2. At a guard, a senior 6'2", Ruben Rodriguez. The starting point guard. He's a senior. 5'10", number 3, Miles Gray. He's a 6'5" senior. Starting forward, number 12, Luis Rodriguez. And starting in the forward, a junior, 6'5", number 34, Malik Osamanu. The Red Knights of Reading. And now, let's bring out Roman Catholic. Head coach Chris McNesby. Assistants, Dennis Seddon, Bill Gobig, Tom McKenna, Cal Bernard, Mike Griffenberg, Joe Ferrero, Manny Taylor, and Rylan Watts. Here's the starting 5 for the Kaolites. He'll wear number 1. He'll start at point guard. He's 6'1", senior Xavier Brown. At a guard, a junior, 5'11", number 3, Robert Cottrell. He's a senior. He's 6'6". Wearing number 5, starting forward, Anthony Finkley. Wearing 15 at a guard, a sophomore, 6'1", William Felder. And at a forward, a sophomore, 6'8", number 44, Sharif Jackson. The Kaolites of Roman Catholic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please rise. Gentlemen, if you'll please remove your hats.
Thank you.
We'd ask all military personnel who are serving or who have served our great country, if you'll please render a hand salute as we honor the United States of America. Salute its leaders and members of the armed forces with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner to be performed tonight by Miss Angelina Drees, a senior from Catasauqua High School. Ladies and gentlemen, we present with pride and much gratitude our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Angelina Drees, and may God bless America.
It's going to be a loud one here tonight. Reading travels well, and half the city is parked right here at the Giant Center.
You're ready to go, too, from the get-go.
There they are. Not many seats to be found and a whole lot of red. Some purple sprinkled in there as well. But Reading, it's a partial crowd here this evening. The Red Knights are dressed in red, oddly enough, and Roman Catholic dressed in white. My name's Bob Long. Alongside me is Warren Goodling. He's a Hall of Fame head coach from Hempfield High School. And he is my partner here tonight. Roman Catholic, they mentioned the starters, but two guys in particular, Warren. Xavier Brown, a senior who folks are describing him as a guy who just will not lose. Down 6 points in the final 40 seconds in the Philadelphia Catholic League Championship game to Newman Goretti at the Palestra. Xavier Brown took them back. Couple of missed free throws, and Brown banked an NBA range three to send it to overtime, where Roman Catholic eventually won the basketball game. And I think Sharif Jackson, he's a point forward type guy, very good ball handler. Those two going to St. Joe's University next year together. But another big that can hold the ball and handle it against this rabid Reading pressure will be a big deal. And then Adish Rodriguez, can he stretch the floor, make maybe Sharif Jackson or Finkley guard on the perimeter, and does that open up space in the middle? Let's find out. The final game of the weekend, and maybe the most anticipated one, is underway. Roman Catholic comes out in a man-to-man set. Here's Miles Gray with a touch. Ruben Rodriguez got by Felder and couldn't hit the runner.
Miles Gray with the rebound.
You would think that maybe Roman Catholic has the advantage on the glass, but Reading able to get the first and the second offensive carom of the night. Adish Rodriguez, and that's last touch by Cottrell out of bounds. Ball was in bounds, but the feet were on the baseline.
And he touched it. Yeah, Reading, loose balls, they have a reputation of getting most of those loose balls, believe me.
Ruben Rodriguez sitting exactly at 2,000 points. It was celebrated in the final minute of the state semifinal held at Coatesville High School against Springford.
What a matchup that is. Xavier Brown and Ruben Rodriguez.
Absolutely right. And in some ways, Coach, maybe better for Reading that happened on Tuesday night and it's out of the way. Focus just on the game.
Absolutely.
Miles Gray. And here's Amir Burdine. Nice defense there, but down on the play went Xavier Brown. And Burdine cut to the basket. It's blocked. And Sharif Jackson affected both shots.
Yeah, I think he blocked both shots and then got the rebound.
If he didn't block the second one, he certainly affected it going up.
Absolutely. He's down in a low post, and they're fronting him. Get some help side.
Jackson went down on the play. Here is Xavier Brown.
Is just really fronting him inside.
And there is a foul called. Amir Burdine, number 0 at 6'2". He's the one that draws the matchup against Brown. One more look. So Burdine picks up his first, team's first. Always an interesting question when Reading is involved is how will the game be officiated?
Oh, no question about it. There's so much going on. Like, you just look right away at the post defense.
100%. It's physical off ball, and it's physical on ball as well. It reminds me of some of those Mick Cronin Cincinnati defenses where you're almost daring the officials to make every hand check call.
And they're not going to make everyone. And now here's Roman with a little full court press, but Ruben takes care of that.
3 defenders came on him, and now they'll reset in the half court. Osamano, look at him drawing Sharif Jackson out to the three-point line. Now he tucks his way in. Adish Rodriguez dribbles into a triple team. This is Robert Cottrell.
And there's good hustle by Gray, Miles Gray. Saved the layup.
He's been described by many as having some of the best set of defensive hands that you'll ever see. And that was clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finkley able to reset to Cottrell. Cottrell was always that first option off the bench when they went 6 deep with Stuart Herring and Oliver Bush, but now thrust into a primary role, ball handler and scorer. This is Finkley. Inside they go. Jackson, and that is a foul against Gray. Got a mitt pretty clearly on the wrist of Jackson. Another look, and that's certainly a good view there.
Well, it was a good post footwork by Jackson, who sealed the guy. When the ball was out top, the ball went to the corner. He had perfect position, and the ball went inside, and they got the foul. He's a big, strong, wide body, has a big base.
Cottrell is open for 3, and that's a big-time rebound with one hand by Ruben Rodriguez. Spot up, and Adis Rodriguez pulls it down. 4th offensive carom on the night already for Reading. Ruben Rodriguez lost the basketball. It was stripped by Roman Catholic.
And William Felder is guarding Ruben Rodriguez, and he seems like he'll get the toughest defensive assignment. Well, that time they switched, so he guarded him that time.
Osamanu not particularly proficient from beyond the arc. Jackson, good finish.
Good pass by Brown.
Yeah, he wasn't passing it to Jackson, Coach, was he? He was passing it to a spot.
He said, get to that spot. The ball's going to be there.
And the first red ball of the night comes for the Miles Gray 3.
Finkley at 6'7", bringing the ball up.
Jackson, look at this guy. Oh, some skill from the big man.
Put it on the floor and went to the basket.
Miles Gray getting to the basket himself, blocked. And I don't know if that foul actually come against. Wow, it is. It's going to go against Finkley. Take another look. If anything, I thought maybe Cottrell. That's a tough foul to assess against Finkley.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody there, and it looked like a clean block upstairs.
And why is that important? Well, we talked about it at the top. Roman Catholic is already going to be shallow on that bench. They only played 6 in the regular season. They're playing at least 1 and probably at least 2. Guys that didn't play all year, if Finkley were to get in foul trouble, that would be an issue.
And, you know, they got in foul trouble against Parkland in the second round game, and Finkley and Jackson were in foul trouble, and they both were sitting the bench in the second quarter, and Parkland had the lead at halftime. And actually, Parkland had a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and then they got them back in the game, and then they rolled in the fourth quarter.
And that pass is a little too far for Xavier Brown. He got halfway to the door.
Yes, it did. And again, that's just an example there of Reading speeding you up.
And they started play before Xavier Brown was back in the court. That is unique.
They didn't wait for him at all that time.
That's odd. Adis Rodriguez for 3. Reading has its first lead of the night. Two bigs that really have a lot of chutzpah and skill. Finkley, who turned that one over, and Adis Rodriguez can put it on the deck and hit it from deep. Miles Gray tries again.
And here comes Brown the other way.
Roman says, we'll run with you. Xavier Brown, wow, what a look. Felder puts it in.
What a pass.
Just when you think he's out of control.
He avoided the charge. He got in trouble there, but he found his teammate running the lane to fill the fast break.
Ruben Rodriguez guarded by Brown, and it's taken off his hands. A big block from Xavier Brown, which will take us to the media timeout. 3:06 to play. It's 8 apiece. Exactly what we expected this one to be. Well, when you think about Roman Catholic, Warren, you think about success at the high school, the college, and even the professional level. A school that has 13 guys playing college basketball at various levels, with one guy in the NBA. Well, make that 2 even. So Jalen Duren went to school for 2 years at Roman Catholic, then transferred down to Florida. And Lamar Stevens, who played all 4 years at Roman Catholic. So those two guys are in the NBA. And then two guys from the 2018 state championship team, which was coached at the time by Matt Griffin. Two guys just declared for the draft. Seth Lundy from Penn State and Hakeem Hart from Maryland.
Yep.
And there's a lot of guys on this team that folks think, hey, in the right situation, they could be playing in the NBA as well.
Yep. We'll check that out in a couple years.
Chris McNesby looking for his third. His fourth state title. So he's got 3. Matt Griffin has 1. And this would be the 5th for Roman all time. Philadelphia Catholic League joined the PIAA back in 2008. And Roman Catholic has been successful on multiple occasions, hoisting the hardware at Hershey. And a win tonight, Warren, would give them the coveted Triple Crown. Philadelphia Catholic League title, District 12 title, and PIAA state title.
A very hard thing to do. Doesn't happen every year. Let's see what Reading does on the out-of-bounds play. An 8-8 tie. Miles Gray will bring it out and set something up.
Gray is guarded by Cottrell. First touch for Yadiel Cruz. And now Adish Rodriguez has the ball top of the key. He's departed by the sophomore Will Felder.
Yep, Will Felder did a nice job on Nick Koval of Parkland in round 2 of the state playoffs.
Numbers for Roman. A nice look inside. Sharif Jackson couldn't get it over the front rim. Miles Gray goes behind his back in a tough spot. Puts it up with the left. Phenomenal finish by Miles Gray.
How about that one?
Brown from the elbow, and he is fouled by Ruben Rodriguez, his first, team's third. Get another look. And certainly got the elbow. Xavier Brown, yet another Philadelphia guard that has a really good mid-range game. We've seen it with Rob Wright. We saw it with Bud Clark. Saw it with Kafik Myers. Xavier Brown.
And they all can get to the rim at any time.
Xavier Brown, a 82% foul shooter on the year. Two of 2, and we're tied at 10. Just a little bit more than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Okay, see what Roman does now. They were in a 2-2-1 three-quarter court. Now they fall into the 3-2 zone.
And willing to give up that 3 to Osamanu there. Weren't even guarding that area of the floor. Ruben Rodriguez in tight, in traffic. Offensive foul, and that's 2 fouls on Ruben Rodriguez. And they come in consecutive possessions. Look at Brown. Feel the contact go down.
And Nick Chapman will come in the game for Ruben Rodriguez.
Boy, that is big. All we talked about in the open, Warren, was about how Roman Catholic wasn't deep.
Right.
But Ruben Rodriguez is essential to Reading.
Yeah, he needs to be in there. And he's got 2 fouls. And I think you'll see him in the second quarter.
Inside they go, and that pass just too high.
Well, it was too high. Reading had a front on the post and ball pressure, and that combination sometimes it's tough to get that ball in there.
How does Reading slow this possession down with Rodriguez on the bench? I don't know about that. Yadiel Cruz, Adish Rodriguez, a college range 3, and Jackson Got two hands on it. Now he's in trouble. There's the steal by Rodriguez. Good move.
And he got to the rim. He got fouled.
Him. And it's the threat of the three-point shot right there that got Sharif Jackson on his heels.
And that foul was on Jackson.
Reading has lost just one game all year long, and it was to Gonzaga, the regional power out of Washington, D.C. They've beaten some great teams as well. A game that I had the opportunity to broadcast at the Diane Moscow Foundation Shootout, a wonderful tournament held at Archbishop Wood each December. They took down West Catholic, who ran away with the 3A state title this afternoon. Adish Rodriguez misses two. Reading is relentless, though. They double-team the rebounder without even a thought.
Yep, they jammed the rebounder, and no pass is safe against Reading. And it's really tough to dribble in the gaps against them.
Xavier Brown with 43 seconds left. This is where the ball is safest if you're Roman Catholic. Brown pulls up. That's a tough three. And Gray comes down with it. 30 seconds left.
Roman's back to man-to-man right now.
At 10 apiece, Reading perhaps comfortable taking the last shot.
Yep, absolutely. See what they do. Set some kind of screen for Miles Gray. He's got 7 seconds. He got to go with it now.
Miles Gray. Dribble drive. Chapman. Got it. Boy, and look at those Reading Red Knights fly off the bench. They are fired up.
Excited. Perfect execution of how to get the last shot.
And they did it with Ruben Rodriguez sitting on the bench with 2 fouls. He collected his second personal with about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Reading doesn't let Roman score in that period and even takes the lead. Job well done by Rick Perez and the Red Knights.
Absolutely. They made sure they got the last shot, and the defense has been outstanding.
This is the NFHS Network, and it's the last game of the weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Because. 2 syllables, 7 letters, so much meaning. Because is an explanation, an answer to the question, why? It connects where we've been to where we're going. And at Highmark, the road ahead is altogether new. We are reinventing healthcare because it can be simpler, smoother, because it can do more. Get ready for healthcare that goes beyond care. Because life. Highmark, Blue Shield.
Reading is looking for its 3rd state title since 2017. Bob Long and Warren Goodling, the team to bring it all to you here on the NFHS Network. Dave and Alicia Emenheiser with Starbright Media on the production. And Bradley down on the floor with the wireless mic. Had a chance to catch up with Rick Perez and with Chris McNesby pregame. We'll get one of those two gentlemen heading into the locker room as well. Warren, speak to that 2017 game and what that meant to this community. Lonnie Walker for Reading, nearly a sold-out Hershey Giant Center. What did that mean for this program in that city?
That showed them that they could get the job done and go all the way to the state title, because that was their first state title ever. And for as good as the program's been at Reading over years and years and years, breaking the ice and getting that first one was huge.
Finkley comes to a jump stop. Now Jackson with the basketball. Very good call inside, and a heck of a defensive play by Amir Verdeen. Finkley out of control.
And that's his second foul.
That's a big one there. So Ruben Rodriguez sits with 2.
Finkley stays.
Finkley stays. Here's Berdine, back cut Gray. Similar type play in terms of a blow through, but Felder was pretty deep, and I think that's why the whistle stayed silent.
And just look at the post play down there. The defense on the post, they actually have a guy in front and a guy behind Jackson.
Berdine, he's giving up 6 inches to Sharif Jackson. They actually had the lob there. Now Finkley stepped into it and couldn't hit it. Not particularly close on that one. Miles Gray from distance. He knew it was off. And now Roman can run if they want.
See if they get Brown involved somehow in the half-court offense. Roman slows it down right now. Try to see if they get a ball pick here for Brown. Looks like that's what they're trying to do.
Brown got the switch to Adish Rodriguez, but Rodriguez is pretty quick. Now I think we have a discrepancy here. Is it a jump ball or a foul? They're going to call the foul on Reading. Another look. It's going to come on Chapman on the pin down, the swipe, I beg your pardon. That looked pretty good from up here. And Adish Rodriguez, how about the lateral movement with his feet defensively?
Absolutely.
That's a tough call there. Finkley. Cottrell had trouble with the handles.
Just to look at the interior defensive positioning by Reading.
Double comes on Jackson. It's an offensive foul. That's his second personal. Flying high with the right elbow.
Yeah, well, they had that help side. It's so ready to be there.
It actually might have been the left elbow, as the replay shows there. Kind of came at him with the offhand, caught him in the chops.
Well, he had the ball, but the help side, he didn't account for the help side coming in there. And until somebody makes a shot in that opposite corner, he's going to have that help side all day. Now, Roman's almost forced to play a 2-3 zone with the foul trouble they have with their big guys.
It's been 5 and only 5 thus far for Roman Catholic, and they're out on the break. Good look for Felder. Got to 2 feet, count it, and 1.
Yeah, nice play by Brown, wasn't it?
Great play by Brown, and I love it. The pass isn't quite on where it needs to be, so come to the jump stop. Get your weight underneath you. Shoulder the contact, a lefty finish.
Yeah, Felder, the sophomore, did a great job using his left hand, just showing complete body control.
Warren, I talked about how he's the guy that has stepped into the starting role this year, or really in the postseason. How about this? 6 of 10 from the line all year long, and he hit that one. Timeout called by Chris McNesby and Roman Catholic.
And Ruben Rodriguez checked back into the game.
Felder, who hit that free throw, he played in 23 games, started only in 5, and those 23, a lot of times that was more mop-up duty because Roman Catholic in league play, well, they won games by an average of 20 points. But from a minute standpoint, averages 12. Sebastian Edwards averages 6 per game. But in terms of these guys, I mentioned Stuart Herring and I mentioned Oliver Bush, who are ineligible for this game here tonight and the rest of the playoffs, they both played more than 25 minutes per contest. So
And
you're replacing minutes, production.
And that's probably 24 points per game, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
The total of those two.
Absolutely. I mean, Stuart Herring alone averaged 13 points per contest. Oliver Bush about 9.
Okay.
And Oliver Bush as well, a long defender, probably the best on-ball defender in the Catholic League at his size. Adish Rodriguez given some space, so why not? Xavier Brown only got one hand on it, couldn't corral it. There were 3 Red Knights in the area. Burdine, yes.
Little high post flash against the zone, turnaround jump shot.
And a sagging zone as well, Coach.
Yep.
So he turned around, there was nobody there.
And that was a second shot opportunity.
Xavier Brown pulls up for 3. Tipped out of bounds off Reading. Number 33, Jediah Ortega just checked into the game, a senior at 6'5". But boy, does an undersized Reading crash the glass. They often always have an extra body.
They crash the glass and they get the rebounds with quickness and anticipation.
Jackson, one-on-one. Ortega, though.
Yeah, Ortega,
pound
nice
for
job
pound
on defense.
Burdine pulls up. There's Ortega. Clear out the space, big man.
And there's an anticipation on the, there's a turnover on the press.
And that is where Reading is at its best. After a made basket, they can set up the full court pressure.
The heat is on.
Bryce Hillman, after a very, very brief introduction to the game, he takes a seat. Finkley is back out there. Both Finkley and Jackson sit with 2 personals.
And Ortega is trying to get another person on somebody because he's in there trying to move people around.
Another rebound. Here's Ruben Rodriguez who lost it. Chapman has it now. Good hands by Cottrell. Felder's on the ground. And Reading's on it first. Third personal foul on Anthony Finkley.
Yep.
He attacked the outside hip of Finkley, not in legal guarding position. And that's an issue for Roman Catholic.
That's a big problem. But that's just the loose ball effort and hustle by Reading High to keep that ball on this end of the court. Guys were diving on the floor. When that ball was down the floor, they were not going to let Roman get it.
Roman Catholic is uncomfortable right now. And Reading is putting on the squeeze right now. Put yourself in that Roman Catholic huddle right now. A young team, you got a couple of guys that really haven't played material or significant minutes all year. What are you saying at this moment?
Well, number one, you got to be strong with the ball because if you're not strong, it's going to be gone the other way. Strong with the ball, just hang in there, fellas. Make the easy pass. First pass you see, make it. Let's complete some passes right now and see if we can get something on offense.
And Rick Perez, put yourself in that huddle. You were able to stave off the issue of an early 2-foul back-to-back situation with Ruben Rodriguez. Now what?
Just keep the heat on because he's using a number of different guys. I mean, who's come off the bench so far? Chapman's come off the bench. Ortega's come off the bench. So he's had guys come off the bench contribute here.
Cruz has gotten a lot of time.
Cruz has come off the bench. And this is just Reading. This is what they do. They'll keep the heat up on you. They're not going to let you get the spot that you want. If you want a spot on offense, they're not going to let you get that spot.
The calling card for this Reading Red Knights run in the playoffs has been 32 more minutes. Rick Perez says they're playing for legacy, playing for history now. There's Ortega. He's got 4 off the bench.
And he says, I'm taking the ball at you, Jackson, because you have 2 fouls.
And they gave it away yet again. Loose ball on the floor. Felder is on it. Held ball situation, Reading basketball. And Roman just can't complete the passes right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's the most important thing for them, is to complete some passes. How about getting the ball to Brown and get out of his way? Just get the ball to Brown and get out of his way and let him go.
That's what happened early in the contest. And they operated a lot more efficiently. Ortega. Ruben Rodriguez for 3. Bang! Bang!
Inside out, passing against the zone. Okay, here we have Brown bringing it up one-on-one, got him out of the way. And they broke the press by just getting the ball to Brown and clearing out for him.
Sharif Jackson with 2 fouls. Cottrell. .253 to go. Xavier Brown. Oh, it ended up in the hands of Jackson.
That deflection, and Jackson got it and finished, but here comes Reading.
Chapman up and under. He couldn't get it over the front rim. Ruben Rodriguez, and a foul is called. Now, that's an interesting one. I don't know if we'll get another look at that. We will. Let's see if Ruben Rodriguez went up and came down with the basketball. I think he did. And that probably should have been either a jump ball or a travel.
Right.
Instead, they got the foul. Ruben Rodriguez is 70% from the line on the year. He's got 4 points here tonight.
And Reading's gotten great contributions from everybody off the bench, haven't they? They just fit right in on that defense. Here comes the press again.
Cottrell, here comes the second defender. Look out. Miles Gray.
Lost it. Yep.
I don't think that's the right call. The official was on it. Let's see. I think they're going to overturn this. Yeah, I think
it's not going to be a happy crowd if they overturn this call.
Boy, that's last touched by Miles Gray. Okay, it looks like they have now adjusted that call. Okay. I know the partisan crowd doesn't like it, and I get it.
They don't like it. Okay, Rick Perez has taken Ruben Rodriguez out of the game now. He has 2 fouls, 2:30 to go in the first half. And Ortega's making Jackson work for every inch of real estate down there on the box.
Xavier Brown. Boy, it's great defending in there. And then a foul is called. Amir Berdine has to be careful. He got up into the face of the official here. And you know what? There was a swipe down there.
They called the foul. Okay. Good defensive effort. Don't reach.
I'm telling you, it's a tough game to officiate out there. I do not want the job.
No, there's not many people that want that job.
Brown is 82% on the year. Boy, it's a little early to say that games are won and lost at the front end, but down 8, you could really use 2 here if you're Roman.
Because that's about the only open shot they've gotten all half. Right?
You're not joking.
That's I'm being honest.
(23-17). Long way to go here in this first half. Yadiel Cruz. Cottrell, he's going to guard Miles Gray out near the logo.
Roman back in there man-to-man.
Ortega lost the basketball, and I'm not sure you want him catching the ball at the elbow like that.
If he's
going to
catch it at the elbow, pass it, and then go foul with the ball screen.
Yep.
He doesn't need to put the ball on the floor.
Cottrell gets to the hoop. Fantastic finish.
Great move by Cottrell.
Adish Rodriguez spins in the lane, and Jackson pulls it down, and a foul is called against Ortega. That's his first, but more foul shots coming for Roman Catholic.
Yeah, and this is, they're getting back in the games on the foul line here a little bit.
Sharif Jackson, though, he shot it 82 times from the line. He's hit 36 of them. Not his strong suit.
Yeah, well, there's something he can work on in the offseason. Make 200 foul shots a week, every week in the offseason. See what happens with your percentage.
Spoken like a Hall of Fame coach, as far as I'm concerned. Warren Goodling, longtime Hempfield head coach. Miles Gray, that's a tough shot. And Cottrell brought it down.
Yeah, and Jackson did a good job to not hack him on that one.
Xavier Brown is nudged there by Yadiel Cruz.
Yep.
And maybe more of a half-hearted objection by this Reading crowd. They are tremendous fans, but clearly not in guarding position.
Yeah, that's a foul. And that's the wrong guy to foul, I think.
It is. He's hit all four tonight. One of two 80+% foul shooters on this Roman Catholic team, but the other one, Jeremiah Stewart-Herring, we mentioned, not playing here tonight.
Oh,
missed it.
Spoke too soon.
There's a rebound by Bryce Hillman, and he throws it into the backcourt. That backcourt violation.
And Sammy Jackson's in the game for his brother right now. So the two big guys for Roman are on the bench with 2 fouls apiece. This is exactly what happened in the Parkland game. They had foul trouble with the two big guys.
Reading, for as much as they like to run, and Bruce, our guy on the floor, always says this, that they can put it in park and be deliberate with the best of them.
They do a great job at this.
Miles Gray will pull it back.
Here comes a double team by Roman.
No shot clock at the high school level in Pennsylvania. Here comes that double yet again. Osamanu really serves as that safety valve.
Yep. See if somebody can slip under the basket when they get the ball to the high post for a layup.
And that is the 7th team foul against Roman Catholic. It sends Miles Gray to the line. Front end of the 1-and-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure they wanted the foul there in that situation.
It's going to go against Felder, his second. Miles Gray, a 73% foul shooter. Was uncharacteristic last year from the line. More in the mid-50s, and now that's more like it with a sharp shooter like him.
And Finkley came back in the game for Roman Catholic with 3 fouls to play this last offensive possession.
Missed it. Couple big foul shot misses. Xavier Brown, good look up the floor. Looking to come to the basketball in a tough spot. Stepped on the sideline. Defense was in pretty good position on the baseline.
Yep, they were definitely aware of that.
Three seconds to go. They have to go the full length of the floor. Reading has not burned a timeout yet here today. Roman just the one. They're going to get a great look at it. At the horn.
You can't complain about that.
You can't complain about the first 16 minutes if you're a Reading Red Knights fan.
It's your type of game.
A fantastic effort by Reading, and they lead by 4. It is halftime here, and Chris McNesby is down there on the floor with Bruce Badgley. We're going to send it to him in just a moment here. As
down on the court, Chris McNesby, boy, what a first half, huh?
Yep, going to be physical. We knew it would be. Both teams battling hard. We got a little foul trouble. Weathered that as much as we could, so hopefully second half we can settle in.
All right, thanks a lot for your time. Thank you. Back up to Bob.
Thanks, Bruce, and really appreciate Chris McNesby doing that in a 4-point contest here. They have some adjustments to make.
Yeah, I really think against the press, nothing's going to be easy against that press. But I really think Brown has to handle the ball in space with nobody near him. Get your teammates away from him because he's going to be able to bring the ball up one-on-one. It's when people are close, and then you have all that confusion with all the different passing lanes.
Interesting in the girls' game that we just saw, Archbishop Wood defeating a really good South Fayette team. But we heard him a couple times on the floor asking one of his offensive players to back cut. And when there was a stoppage in the play, he said, hey, you got to back cut because if you're not, you're bringing the best defender right to the ball.
Exactly.
And there's the idea of what you're getting at. Get Xavier Brown in space and see what he can do. We'll see what adjustments they come up with when we come back here on the NFHS Network.
Okay, Bruce Badgley, halftime here of the 6A title game with Reading holding a 23-19 advantage. I'm here with my buddy here, Andy Herr. Andy from LL Hoops, man. How great has it been, this one?
This has been, honestly, Bruce, everything we thought it would be. We thought it would kind of be a coin flip type game. It's a 4-point game at half. What I appreciate being down below is you can just tell how fast and how physical it is. Dell was saying, I mean, Reading just plays like banshees. That's exactly what they are. I mean, if you're going to go after a loose ball, you know Reading High is just going to jump on you and get to it first. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I'm excited for the last 60 minutes. I can't believe we only have 60 minutes left in the entire season. I'm a little saddened by that.
Yeah, I know. Considering the level of basketball, you know, that we see not only in this game, but with every game this weekend. I mean, just your thoughts on the overall basketball play that we've seen in these last couple games.
This is the best weekend of my entire year. I love it. For me, seeing a lot of Lancaster-Lebanon League teams, what's great is I get to see the Catholic League teams maybe for the first time when they come up here. I don't really run into Reading High all that much. I mean, sometimes I do with being in District 3, but it's great to see them on this stage. And I think this is what this is all about. You see the sea of red. I mean, it's the whole public and private debate. We're not going to get into that, but I mean, this is exactly what I think high school basketball in Pennsylvania is supposed to be, and it's just great that this is kind of the crescendo of the whole thing. I mean, this should be a great game, and hopefully it ends that way.
Yeah. All right, and I was, pretty taken back by the fact that Reading, I mean, even, Ruben Rodriguez got into foul trouble. They kind of weathered the storm there. What do you expect out of the second half?
Well, I'm expecting Reading to continue to get after it. Obviously, the loose balls is the whole thing. Roman's big guys, they have 5 fouls, between them, 3 and 2. So that's going to be a big thing, going forward into the second half. But, if Ruben can get rolling, if Miles can get rolling. I mean, Berdine had a big shot there, too. I mean, I know him from being a quarterback, obviously. So, I mean, it's just great. Like I said, this is the best weekend of the entire year. It always lives up to my expectations. And like I said, I'm excited that we're in the heat of battle here, but it's the last battle of the year. So it's a little sad in that respect, but it's great. It's been another great season. Hopefully the same for you guys as well.
Yeah, it has been here, and we're going to head it back up to Bob and look forward to a great second half.
On the NFHS Network, second half comes up next.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Because. 2 syllables, 7 letters, so much meaning. Because is an explanation, an answer to the question, why? It connects where we've been to where we're going. And at Highmark, the road ahead is altogether new. We are reinventing healthcare because it can be simpler, smoother, because it can do more. Get ready for healthcare that goes beyond care. Because life. Highmark, Blue Shield.
From coast to coast and every state between, X marks the spot as Max Preps is your source for everything high school sports. From schedules, roster, stats, live scores, video highlights, photos, playoff brackets, to award programs that recognize the hard-working athletes across the country. Max Preps gives you access to every team, every game, and every player. Get in the know today by downloading the Max Preps app, available in both the iTunes and Google Play Store. Or visit maxpreps.com, America's source for high school sports.
It's a game that's had everything. Reading, Roman Catholic. History. Reading's won twice. Roman Catholic with 4 state crowns. Star power. Ruben Rodriguez playing through 2 fouls early on and leading his team when he has been on the floor to the lead. Xavier Brown on the Roman Catholic side. He's been the man for the K-Lights for so long. This is his last dance at the high school level. Coaching pedigree. Rick Perez, the molder of a program in every sense of the word, and Chris McNesby back for a second spin at Roman Catholic and looking to win his 4th title as a head coach. Warren, what's gotten us to this point?
Just a great play, great talent out there, but here's what I appreciate, looking at this is the 100% effort of the kids on both of these teams. Just every possession means something to them, and they're playing that way. It's an incredible high energy, high intensity basketball game, with the reward being the state championship in 6A.
A lot of respect between these two programs. It will be a battle for 16 more minutes. Roman Catholic in white, Reading in red. Bob Long, Warren Goodling, your broadcast team. Here's Anthony Finkley with the 3 personal fouls. Hounded by Adish Rodriguez. Cottrell is open for 3. And Adish Rodriguez comes up with the rebound. He's going to attack Finkley. Big rebound by Berdeen.
Yep, another offensive rebound by Reading. And it seems, Reading's not afraid to attack the basket, especially with the foul trouble that Roman has.
Ruben Rodriguez now matched up with Xavier Brown. Miles Gray, lightning quick on the baseline. What a find! Rodriguez, bingo!
And it was interesting, they had Miles Gray with his back to the basket down there on the post. They fed him the ball, and he spun dribble to the baseline and then found the assist, found his shooter outside.
Threading the needle and dropping the dime was Adish Rodriguez.
He knew that pass was coming. His feet were set, and he was ready to shoot it.
Xavier Brown, a step back. Tough one. Not a high percentage look, and again, one and done for Roman Catholic. Great look inside. Osamanu, largest lead for Reading.
That's Ruben Rodriguez at his best in transition. And look at the defensive.
And they rise here at the Giants Center. The Reading faithful. They know that their team has control of this basketball game.
Yes, they do. They set the tone early in this ball game.
Anything can change in an instant, but for right now, it's Reading getting the rebounds. It's Reading creating the penetration and getting the quality looks. It's Reading making the extra pass. And Roman Catholic is one and done, stepping back for tough shots and really not getting paint touches.
No, they're really not getting the ball down deep for sure, and they're not getting good looks on the perimeter. The defense of Reading is just suffocating.
They gave up just 32 points in the state semifinal to Springford. And candidly, that game looked a lot like this one does now.
Well, now, look at this. Reading is now in a 2-3 zone.
Let them walk it up the floor.
See if they try to trap out of this. Where they showed 2-3 zone, they're playing man-to-man.
Yep.
They just showed a 2-3 zone, and they matched up man-to-man. But they took the press off of that one possession.
Yep, good call there, Coach. Finkley. Somebody's got to come to the ball, and it's Sharif Jackson. Finkley for 3. Big one there.
And that's a big one for them. And you know what? They need to look for a little bit more of that. Look at Miles Gray.
Miles Gray couldn't hit it. Finkley comes up with the rebound. And now can Roman beat the Reading defense down the floor? Great look.
Yep.
Felder missed it. Point blank range. And Ruben Rodriguez has picked up his 3rd personal foul. I don't know. You tell me, Coach. Would you rather take the layup or take the 3rd foul on Rodriguez?
Take the layup.
Yeah,
you don't want
I'm
the 3rd
with you.
foul on Rodriguez. Are you sure that was on Rodriguez? Let's see.
Wow, if not, then that's fortunate. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't ask you from which perspective you were asking that either, because there's Sharif Jackson with an easy 2.
Okay, now see, Roman, the last 2 possessions, they've got a good jump shot and they got an inside score. So they've settled down the last 2 possessions to play their type of basketball.
To clean that up, right or wrong, they did not call the foul against Ruben Rodriguez. Adish Rodriguez off the heel. It'll stay here. Last touch by Sharif Jackson. Ruben Rodriguez, high off the window. Jackson jumps too early, and Rodriguez is on the floor. Timeout. Timeout by Rick Perez to keep possession with 5:02 to go.
Yep, and he's got, well, now he has 4 left, but he saves his timeouts for the second half.
That's a heck of a play there. And I'm surprised that Jackson jumped so early. It's not like that took call it a second tick on the rim or something that he wasn't expecting. He just jumped early.
Yep. And then Ruben Rodriguez followed the ball the whole way out, dove on the floor, and was determined to get the ball. And that's just the Reading culture. It doesn't matter if you're the best player, you're going to dive on the floor for the loose ball like everybody else does. Sometimes teams have a couple guys that do that, maybe not everybody. Reading has everybody that does that.
Rick Perez, the mastermind for Reading. Chris McNesby back for his second stint at Roman Catholic. This year he hit his 200th win. Long-term and sustained success at the highest level here of high school basketball. Reading keeps possession, but Roman Catholic is as close as they've been in some time. Down to 4. Osamanu. Miles Gray, that would have been the 4th. Anis Rodriguez, big finish.
That's the second time Gray has done that. Drive the baseline and find the open man. And that was an exclamation point. Look at that.
Now can Roman Catholic answer? Finkley.
Double team on Jackson inside.
Xavier Brown is hit and will shoot 2 at the line.
Yeah, and that's a good play by Xavier Brown because there's so much attention on the post. When Jackson moved up the lane a little bit on that, it opened up the bottom of the baseline for him to drive.
Yeah, great call on that one, Coach. I agree. And Brown being so good with his left-handed dribble, he can take it baseline. And then really, when you create that angle for yourself, or lack thereof, you want to switch it to your right.
Right.
Able to get it up on the rim. So after that Anis Rodriguez dunk, it's 30 to now 25 for Roman Catholic. Smooth on those 2 from the line. Back to a 4-point game. And it just feels like we have an eternity left in this one.
It certainly is. And here's a little 3/4 court token press.
Anis Rodriguez. Offensive foul, pretty easy call. Good position inside by Sharif Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson did a great job to not get baited into trying to block that shot. He just took the charge.
Second personal foul on Anis Rodriguez. No real foul trouble for Reading, but Berdine has 2. Ruben, that is, has 2. Anis Rodriguez has 2 as well. And Miles Gray has the 2 personal fouls. Yadiel Cruz, the 5th guy on the floor, has 1 personal foul and has not yet scored.
But look at Roman's alignment right now.
Yeah. So Xavier Brown is the only one in the backcourt.
Yep.
2 guys flanking at midcourt. Now they'll back it out.
Yep. And that's how you bring it up with him. Just give him some space. Get out of his way.
Xavier Brown. That's a blocking foul against Miles Gray. And that's his 3rd personal. I don't know. Let's get a look at this one.
That's a tough call.
Off arm extended.
Yeah, tough call.
Miles Gray took it square in the chest. Timeout on the floor with 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go. Warren Goodling, my color commentator here this evening, thrilled to work with you for all 6 contests. So now we sit halfway through the 3rd quarter, Warren, and why don't you do me a favor and take me inside the Reading huddle right now, huh?
Well, inside the Reading huddle, it's talking, keep playing good defense, but, you guys that have foul trouble, you can't reach and try to make the steal all the time. That was an unfortunate call on Miles Gray because he wasn't reaching. He was just trying to establish good position. But I think that's one of the things they're doing. And on offense, just keep sharing the ball like you're doing. But really, right now, the post defense has been exceptional all night for Reading High, and they're going to continue to do that.
Look at that conversation. Left side of your screen with that assistant and the referee.
That's all.
There it is.
Yeah.
Full extension,
Yeah.
huh? If you're a lip syncer at home.
Yep, he's making his point about that call. Absolutely. But in this huddle, that's what it's all about in a Reading basketball program right there. The togetherness, everybody all in. And here we are. We have to do this as a team from 1 to number 12 guys on the bench. You got to be involved, and they are.
And now take me inside the Chris McNesby huddle.
I think they're just talking about keep doing what they're doing on offense the last couple times and spread the floor against the press so we don't have guys close together that they can run and trap. And also, it's tough to dribble through guys in the backcourt when they're so close together. So the last time or two, they brought Brown in space in the back, and he was able to bring it up without a problem. Keep your composure, Roman Catholic.
Xavier Brown hits it.
Yep.
Foot on the line.
And they drew up that out-of-bounds play. They didn't draw it up. It says, we're going to run this out-of-bounds play that we have all year, and Brown knocked it down. Perfect execution.
The lead is back down to 2. Make it 5. Miles Gray.
That's a big-time answer, huh?
Now Xavier Brown, they space the whole floor.
Yep, and when the trap comes, you have openings, you have more space to deal with it like they did there, just there. And remember,
wow, it's great defense. Yadiel Cruz. He's got Miles Gray. Adish Rodriguez. It's a big run.
And
8-point lead.
Does Miles Gray know where everybody is or what? How many times has he gotten into paint and he's found the open shooter or the open dunker?
Now Cottrell. Great look for Jackson. Fouled, and he'll shoot 2. That's one he can't believe didn't go down because now you're sending a 43% foul shooter to the line. Reading will take that.
Yeah, they will. And, the last time Jackson had the ball down low, he went to the center. He could have went to the left side and maybe made the layup. But this time he did the right thing. Didn't finish it, but he got fouled. See if he can knock these down. Looked good on that one, didn't he?
Sure did.
Nice and relaxed. Nice shooting for him. Nice backspin on the ball. Long way to go in this one.
But those last 2 threes, what a momentum swing as Roman Catholic was clawing back.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough. You fight so hard to create offensive opportunities against this Reading defense. And a 3 like that goes down, and you're thinking, man, we were almost there. We were almost there. Now Xavier Brown. He's going to get an easy one.
Yep. Their 3/4 court trap. Right at midcourt. They clamp it on a little bit. Try to get a trap right there.
Chapman, back cutting Ruben Rodriguez, and Osamanu puts it
Great
in.
pass by Ruben Rodriguez.
And got rid of that ball just before he traveled.
He knew exactly where his teammate was, and he found him.
Sharif Jackson, so skilled, everything but the finish.
He kept it alive, though, to his teammate, Cottrell.
Xavier Brown gets to a really good spot.
Yep.
And he got the roll.
He refused the screen, came back to his left. A lot of right-handed shooters are very good going to their left off the lefty dribble. And that's what he seemed to do a couple times now.
I've been told by stakeholders of the Reading program, and I've been told by stakeholders of the Roman Catholic program that their guy is on a can't-lose mission. Xavier Brown for Roman Catholic and Ruben Rodriguez for Reading. Well, the unstoppable force has met the immovable object. Let's see who raises the trophy. Xavier Brown, it opens up for him. Couldn't hit it. And Ruben Rodriguez traveled. Perhaps just hopped with that pivot foot. That's a tough call on the baseline. Get a really good look at it here. Just kind of hops with that right foot to that spot. I don't know.
That was a tough call on the loose ball scramble.
They were right on top of that one there.
See what out-of-bounds play they run.
Finkley got it.
Yeah, that was a nice touch, huh?
Down to 3.
Well, see, what happened Reading that time, they went and doubled the guy in the corner, and that enabled Finkley to have a little bit more room to get that shot off.
Yadiel Cruz often operates a little closer to the basket. Well, he'll get close to the basket. And a very, very late whistle comes at 48 seconds left. Who is that on?
I think they're called that on Jackson.
Tariq Jackson picks up his 3rd personal.
Let's watch this. Oh.
A little light at this stage.
Yeah, you're going to call that a foul, then...
Missed the first.
Yeah.
So now Finkley and Jackson, the 2 bigs for Roman Catholic, have 3 personals.
And that last call, I mean, man, that was tough. I mean, that young man did everything he could to avoid a foul.
1 of 2 at the line.
Every point matters.
Finkley, good move. Open 3 for Cottrell. And Felder had a hand on it. He just couldn't corral it. There's Ruben Rodriguez.
There's that flurry by Reading.
It was down to 2 at one point. Down to 6. Xavier Brown, a tough shot. Jackson.
Wow, what a rebound. What a nice touch by Jackson on a nice rebound. Much needed basket for Roman.
Much needed is right. Well, after it was 23-19 at half, 20 points apiece in the 3rd quarter. We can take the tempo up for you guys if you'd like.
Pace has picked up.
Sure has. So the next time we come to you, we'll go commercial free until we have a champion here at 6A. We'll be right back.
Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Start of the 4th quarter here from the Giants Center. The final quarter of regulation, at least, in the 2022-2023 Scholastic basketball season. Bob Long, Warren Goodling, your broadcasters here tonight for the NFHS Network. Bruce Badgley down on the floor doing interviews, and Dave and Alicia Emenheiser with Starbright Media on the production side. So thrilled to have joined you all weekend long. 12 games, 6 boys, 6 girls. This is going to be the highest attended game, Warren, and potentially the game most anticipated. 20 points apiece in the 3rd quarter. Both teams got it going offensively. And just the way you want to see it, again, Finkley and Jackson have the 3 personal fouls, but nobody with 4. It feels like both clubs can go full bore for the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, they did a good job of staying out of that 4th foul, the guys that have been in foul trouble. So the coaches did a good job of getting them out of the game at times.
And the players themselves operating with some more care. Miles Gray, Chapman thought about the three. It's a runner in the lane.
That's a tough shot, huh? Thought about the three, put the ball on the floor, medium jump shot.
Finkley. Blocking foul is called. Now, will it be in the act?
I think they'll give him 2 shots on that.
Another look here. Burdine in pretty good position.
Nope, they're going to put it on the floor. They caught it on the floor.
Again, it was pretty early into that spin. He kind of threw one up wildly. I could see that call going either way.
Yep. Here's an out-of-bounds play that they've scored on the last 2 times.
Brown tightly defended. Pull up for 3. It's good.
Boy, he was tightly defended, but that's a big-time play, huh?
Cold-blooded.
Wow.
Xavier Brown. Hadish Rodriguez traveled. And there's the giveaway that Roman Catholic needed defensively. No stranger to coming back is this Roman team.
They're never out of it.
They play a national-type schedule. They were down 7 in the final minutes in Newman Goretti in the Philadelphia Catholic League title game.
And you can see how Xavier Brown has settled the team down as far as with the press goes.
And there you go, Xavier Brown thrown down by Chapman.
And that'll be a 1-on-1.
Here's another look. Just kind of got the arms tied up.
Yeah.
And Chapman, I get it. Okay, your hands are up, but you're absolutely impeding the progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how's this for you? Reading has 17 fouls and Roman Catholic 1 in the second half.
Well,
they're not playing the same type of defense,
It's completely different, 2 different styles. Roman right now is playing a more of a, we're going to drop back. We're going to be a little token press, but we're going to play a 3-point line in, and Reading's just extending everywhere, challenging everyone.
Games are won and lost at the front end, Warren. And it's missed, but tipped in by Jackson.
Tips it in.
.45-44. Classic is brewing. Chapman, timeout.
Good timeout by Coach Perez.
So now both teams will have 3 timeouts remaining. And it feels like a momentous possession for Reading.
It is, because at this end, Xavier Brown's taking over the game down here. He's controlling the ball, making sure it goes to the right spot, hitting the jumper, okay, and he's breaking the press. So he's elevated his responsibility on this offensive end.
And he's hitting some heavily contested shots as well. It's good defense by Reading. Same thing with Roman Catholic. It's been great defense. That 20-point explosion by both teams in the third quarter was extremely impressive.
Yeah. The defensive strategy from both teams is completely different, but it's working for both teams right now.
And Reading, in terms of being the momentous possession here, it feels like a couple of times Roman Catholic has gotten really close, but hasn't quite taken the lead or tied the game. They're down 1 point. A 3-point basket here could be decimating to Roman Catholic. A stop could embolden them.
Absolutely. Little shuffle cut, see if they get a Miles Gray.
Xavier Brown picks up the personal
foul. See what
foul.
they did on that? They had the shuffle cut. Then they had Miles Gray, after he ran the shuffle cut, came off a stagger screen on the opposite side, and everybody was worried about Miles Gray. And Ruben Rodriguez slipped the screen and got the ball for the opening.
The 70% foul shooter. 2 big ones.
Every one counts.
Second one wouldn't go. It's a 2-point game.
See how Brown comes back and says, give me the ball. I'll bring it up.
If Xavier Brown is taken over in the scoring and on the ball, Sharif Jackson's starting to take over in the post. Rebound on the basketball, but gave that one away. Miles Gray spins up and under. And it's Roman Catholic basketball. Rodriguez can't believe it.
Yep, there was a lot going on down there.
Ping-ponging underneath the basket. And there's that spacing you wanted, Coach. With the man-to-man backcourt pressure, clear it out.
Yep.
Here goes Xavier Brown. Count it, and one. X marks the spot.
Yes.
That is a fantastic finish. Chapman picks up the foul, breaks the verticality, and Roman Catholic, if you can believe this, can take the lead.
I just like the fact that they went and Jackson battling in the post all night. He came up instead of ball screen up top. And that enabled Brown to get to the hole. He makes that one.
47-46, an eternity to go here in the fourth quarter. Buckle up. Ruben Rodriguez. Chapman for three.
Wow.
Bingo. You don't see it much from him. But in the game's biggest moment, it's Chapman stepping up.
Big shot. Big assist by Ruben Rodriguez.
Xavier Brown a little short. Offensive rebound to Robert Cottrell.
But you can see that Xavier Brown's really looking for it now, isn't he? Now they're going to run a little half-court set to a high-low post.
Nick Chapman with the role and responsibility of guarding Xavier Brown. 4:50 to go. Finkley looking for movement. Here's Brown, and they got Adesh Rodriguez on him. He's a great defender, though. Timeout, yep. Chris McNesby, and I love that.
Yeah, I love that, too, because Reading was locked in on defense that possession.
Now you can design something coming out of the timeout. And, oh, by the way, I'm sitting next to a Hall of Fame coach. What would you draw up?
I would get Brown and Jackson in a pick and roll. Try to get them in a pick and roll and see what happens, and have Finkley flash high. That's what I would like to see him do.
And this will come from the baseline, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, if you get on the baseline, you can throw it to Brown in the corner, and then you can set a screen coming from the three-point line to him, and then flash Finkley high, keep the other guys on the opposite side ready to go in case the ball, because their guys are going to help in there on the roll man. Somebody has to hit an open shot on the weak side, because that last possession, it was like 3 guys against 5 Reading defense. The help side was in the paint, so they got to do something. Run a stagger screen to keep everybody occupied on the other side.
Going to give some props to a broadcast partner of mine, Will Scoop Ryan from LaSalle, who in this moment would always say, okay, time for a game reset, right? So Roman Catholic has come all the way back, took a 1-point lead. Reading counters with Nick Chapman from deep. Roman Catholic looking for their 5th PIAA title. And Reading looking for their 3rd, 2 of the Herculean programs in Pennsylvania. Xavier Brown has been the man for Roman Catholic with 20 points. Got the defender in the air. He missed it short. And Xavier Brown fouled Miles Gray, his 2nd personal foul, Roman Catholic's 4th.
And they did go with a pick and roll that time. Although Asumanyu, he did everything he could not to let Jackson go up and set the pick.
Yadiel Cruz returns, replacing Nick Chapman. Chapman got more minutes as the year has gone along. A junior at 5'9". He's been fantastic on both sides today.
Reading will work for a really good shot this time. They're in no hurry.
Felder gets the assignment of Miles Gray, one-on-one. Yadiel Cruz. Open three for Osamanu.
And that was down in. It was in, wasn't it? And it popped out.
Ruben Rodriguez, though, mixes it up.
Great
He's only
rebound.
got 8 points, but man, what an impact. Miles Gray, yes!
Wow. He challenged everybody in there.
Xavier Brown. Felder is hit hard and will shoot 2. Adis Rodriguez picks up his 3rd personal foul. It's a tremendous drive by Xavier Brown. Splits the defenders.
Yeah, it's a great play by Xavier Brown. But how about the finish by Miles Gray? Wow.
Exactly when they needed it. Batman and Robin in that backcourt. Ruben Rodriguez and Miles Gray. And today it's Robin, or Miles Gray, that leads the backcourt in scoring and leads the entire Red Knights team in scoring with 12. For Roman Catholic on the other side, Sharif Jackson has 14 to Xavier Brown's 20.
Yeah.
34 of the 47 points scored by those two guys. So for Reading, it's been much more balanced.
And that's Reading basketball. Right? That's how they played all year. .340 to go.
It's been a treat, partner.
It's been every type of game that we thought we'd see tonight here. We came in here Thursday saying a lot of good games, but how about that one 8 o'clock on Saturday?
A look at the road to get here. Roman Catholic. They crushed Perkiomen Valley in the first round, 70-31. And then in the second round, it took overtime to beat Lower Merion, 60-56. Then they hammered Parkland by a score of 53-35. Then was a very interesting matchup in the state semifinal. Roman Catholic against Archbishop Wood. A rematch of the Philadelphia Catholic League semifinal that Archbishop Wood once led by double digits. Roman came back and won that game. And a lot of folks around the area thought, hey, with Jeremiah Stewart Herring and Eric Oliver Bush ineligible, maybe Archbishop Wood would win that one and return for a rematch against Reading from the final in 2021. But not to be. Roman Catholic won that game by 10. A fourth quarter run was the difference. And here they are. Big free throws from Will Felder.
Yeah, the sophomore knocks them both down. Here's a little 1-2-2 three-quarter court press. See if they try to get a trap. It looks like they're going to try to get a trap there in the corner.
Adis Rodriguez picks
one.
up the dribble and knocked it off the knee of Cottrell.
So they were very committed to getting a trap that time, and the ball came across half court. Now they're back to their man-to-man.
Will it be a swan song for this senior class? Headlined by Ruben and Adis Rodriguez. Not related. But those two individuals, stalwarts, rocks of this program. Cottrell picks up his first personal foul, team's 4th. Another look, just trying to get around. In the post, good call. Right in front of the official. Miles Gray is also a senior. Amir Burdine. That's Yadiel Cruz and Ruben Rodriguez. Too strong. Cottrell is on it. Couldn't corral it. And it's Reading basketball. They win the 50-50 battle. Yadiel Cruz in a tough spot. And they can settle things down.
Can reset.
Adis Rodriguez. Here comes a double team. Puts on the brakes, but really put Ruben Rodriguez in a tough spot,
tough
didn't
spot
he?
there.
Timeout,
Yep,
Rick Perez.
Rick Perez had to call the timeout.
And Ruben actually said something to Ari. It's like, come on, man.
I'm not sure you want to dribble handoff or ball screen in this situation because you invite the trap on a dribble handoff or a ball screen. You invite the trap right away. So, especially up 2 with 2:26 to go.
And to set that scene, right? You're running your offense. You're not being deliberate. You're not slowing things down.
Redding, it's going to be interesting to see what he wants to do out of here because he might feel he can draw them out, and then when they come out, go by him for a backdoor or for a layup. He might want to spread the floor so he brings their big guys away from the basket to guard somebody.
Right.
Because everybody on Reading can sort of handle the ball a little bit. And we'll see what he does. I think he's going to spread it out, but he'll look for a good shot, I think.
And that's not having the constraint of the shot clock, right? Not necessarily, hey, we're trying to hold it and get fouled and go to the line, but just to say, hey, this possession could take 25 seconds, could take 40 seconds, could take a minute.
He might want to have Finkley and Jackson guard dribblers out on the perimeter if he spreads it out. Because in that lineup right now he has, every one of those guys in Reading can put the ball on the floor and go somewhere with it.
Well, here we go. Reading basketball, a sideline out of bounds. A 2-point lead for the Red Knights.
All right, so they're going to run some offense. Little post-to-post screen.
It looks like they're looking to get it to Aris Rodriguez because he has Cottrell.
Yeah, he has a little size advantage. But he's got Jackson behind, and here comes the double-team trap.
And he dribbled out of it. And a kickball. Roman hates the call, but it is the right one.
It's the right call because if it didn't make that call, that was a layup at the other end.
And again, it was an unnatural position. The leg stuck out. But now it's like a whole new possession. Again, no shot clock. Run your set. And they've taken about 40 seconds off the clock since this possession started. Oh, they gave it away, though. Felder, one-on-one. Timeout, Chris McNesby. Boy, it looked like Felder got absolutely crushed on that.
It did. I was surprised there was no whistle.
Wow. And Chris McNesby is hot. I don't blame him one bit. It'll be a baseline out of bounds, though. A full timeout. And you can cut the tension with a knife.
Oh, yeah.
Will Felder there went in. And I tell you what.
When I looked at that again.
Yeah, just by virtue of the wide shot here, but nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like he hit the ball. I mean, I don't know if he bumped his body as he went through, but.
I mean, he sure did, but again.
Yeah.
This is a state title game. Here's a great look. There's body contact, but it was clean up top. Tough game to officiate, Warren. I don't want the job.
He didn't call the foul. Tip your hat to Ruben Rodriguez making a great play.
And I do think the crew, by and large, has done a great job.
Yeah.
I think when they got this assignment, they probably looked at the paper and looked at the assignment and said, uh-oh. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
And there's such a level of excitement for these officials. I got to talk to one of them that I know pretty well from District 1, Mike McCabe, and they just spoke about how a great opportunity this is. And I asked, hey, is it your first one? He says, oh, yeah. These don't come along very often. You got to spread it around, and only the really good ones get selected. These three fit that mold to a T.
Okay, so here we are, under 2 minutes.
Finkley to inbound. Jackson couldn't go, but he got his own rebound. That one doesn't go either.
But he stayed with it.
It's a tie game.
Great set play by Roman. All kinds of action going on in the corner. They throw the lob inside to Jackson, and he made it count.
100 seconds to go. Aris Rodriguez. Here comes that double again.
I mean, if you let Reading hold it for the last shot, they will. So now we got a cat and mouse game. Here comes a ball screen. Are they going to try to switch that?
Ruben Rodriguez, inside they go. Chapman, that's a really nice catch. That ball was behind him. Okay, Warren, you called it. Reading will take the last shot if you let them.
They'll take a layup if they have it.
Felder commits the personal foul. Just the fifth team foul. Another look here. I mean, he's taking his cue from the bench, and he says, hey, take one.
Okay, so
I don't know.
I mean, it's a tie ball game. So now you got one more foul to give, but you're not losing.
Miles Gray, 73% foul shooter. Adish Rodriguez, 69.
They're coming to double team the ball.
Ruben Rodriguez is 70. Here's Burdine.
They're going for the last shot at this point.
Here comes Finkley to double team. Chapman, he'll go baseline. Too strong. And he's fouled. And that's in the act.
In the act, 2 shots.
Nick Chapman. Cottrell picks it up. Good call. Raked right along the wrists. And Nick Chapman, who's taken 13 foul shots on the year, Warren. He's made 7 of them. The biggest 2 foul shots of his career. And Reading leads by 1.
That was nothing but the net.
Now, make or miss, Roman needs to move with some pace.
Boom.
Chapman makes them both. Finkley wants the ball. Oh, you can't burn that timeout, but they do. They burn the timeout with 26 seconds left. And listen, Warren, I know that you need a bucket, and that's the most important thing.
Right.
But to not be able to stop the ball, if you don't get a bucket here, and then you foul Reading.
They have no timeouts left.
They have none left.
Yep.
That's right. And if you foul Reading after, let's just say, a miss, Reading makes 2, the clock doesn't stop even after your next made basket. So your clock basically reduces by 5 or 6 seconds.
Yep,
hey,
absolutely.
26 on the clock, make it 20 in that case.
No. Well, what happened? The one guy for Roman had the ball, and then another guy who stepped out of bounds, he handed him the ball. The count was gone.
Yes.
They had denial on. Reading was smart enough to deny Brown the inbounds. I mean, he was totally denied, and I don't think the coach thought they had
the time
to get the ball in. He didn't want to risk a 5-second call.
Great point, Coach. Still devastating to have to use it. But draw up the perfect play. Here it is. State title on the line.
Yep.
Down by 2.
Down by 2. Reading's going to say, we love our defense.
It will be Finkley to inbound the ball. 2 guys at midcourt.
Yep.
Xavier Brown at the top of the key. They rise here at the Giants Center. This is what you came for.
See if they send him a high ball screen.
Got to move quickly. Got to try to get a good look. Xavier Brown, he's hit. Wasn't called. Cottrell. He'll shoot 2. Fouled in the act of shooting. It's double bonus time the rest of the way for Roman Catholic. I thought Xavier Brown was hit hard there.
Yeah.
Certainly they got the foul with Cottrell.
Yep.
But Cottrell, 29 of 41 coming into tonight. And he's got to do it with this backdrop.
And Reading has to rebound the second shot if he misses it. And this place is crazy right now, loud. Missed it. Now they need a rebound. Reading needs a rebound on a miss. They need to understand what they're going to do if he makes it to get the ball in against pressure.
It hit the heel. The juices are flowing.
Made that one.
He got it. 1 point game. You can look for a quick steal, but then you have to foul. Just 12 seconds to go. Addis Rodriguez, you got to take it. And they do. But 3 seconds come off the clock.
This is a 1+1. If he misses, look for Brown to get the ball and go coast to coast.
Warren.
Jackson's going to run right to the rim.
Games are won and lost.
On the foul line.
And at the front end. Addis Rodriguez, 70% from the line on the year. Doesn't matter much now, does it? Long rebound. They got to move. They don't have any timeouts. Down to 4. Xavier Brown is fouled. 1.7 seconds on the clock. He'll shoot 2 with a chance to put the dagger in. Here's another look. My, oh my.
Well, they did exactly what they had to do. Jackson got the rebound. He looked for one guy to get that ball to, and that was Brown. And what Brown do? He was going coast to coast. He wasn't going to give that ball up unless somebody was at the basket wide open.
And what do we have now?
Something's going on.
Perhaps looking to check the clock at the direction of Rick Perez. And now they're trying to send everybody back to the line. So like a quasi timeout there for Reading. And maybe an icing attempt at Xavier Brown. He's got 20 points. He's hit every big shot for Roman Catholic. And he's got one shot
to tie it up.
And they don't have anybody in the lane, Warren. And he's got some time to think about it.
They have to put somebody in the lane now.
Does it get any better than this?
Man.
Basketball at the highest level, at the high school level.
And what did you say? Games are won and lost.
At the foul line. Addis Rodriguez missed his front end of the 1-and-1. Xavier Brown missed the first of 2. And he's somewhere deep in that huddle right now. Now, what are you saying to your guy? I mean, it's probably more about, hey, let's draw up the defense. Let's keep his mind fresh, right?
What am I saying to the foul shooter?
Yeah.
Hey, just go knock it down.
Just go knock it down.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson's going to be in the lane. Here's a look inside that Reading huddle.
I'm surprised they don't have another guy in the lane on that side.
I'm with you.
I mean, you know, if the ball is bounced around or suppose Jackson gets his hand on it and tips it.
Yeah, you can get a putback to win a state title.
Yeah. I mean, so basically you have to box out the shooter. That's a surprising alignment if you don't put somebody in there. I know you think he's going to make it.
Xavier Brown, a senior and the star for Roman Catholic, drains it. 53 apiece. 1.7 to go. One timeout for Reading if they need it. Miles Gray. They did not call a foul. There was a lot of contact there from Xavier Brown, and we are going to overtime.
Overtime.
It surprised me. It may have even surprised the officials that Xavier Brown even got near Nick Chapman.
Exactly.
Well, we are through 12 bouts of regulation here in Hershey this weekend. 6 boys and 6 games and 6 girls games. 12 overall. What is 4 more minutes, Warren?
And the shirt said 32 more minutes, and Rick Perez in his pregame interview said 32 minutes or whatever it takes.
Or whatever it takes, ... Here we are. We're in the whatever it takes portion of the contest.
He said that. 32 minutes or whatever it takes. Add that to the shirt for Reading.
Well, we'll set the action here then. Amir Berdeen for Reading has 4 personal fouls. By my count, the only guy on either team with 4 fouls.
Yep, a lot of guys with 3.
Yep. For Roman Catholic, Robert Cottrell, Anthony Finkley, Will Felder, and Sharif Jackson all have the 3 personal fouls. At this point, you're playing everybody anyway. One of the all-time classics.
This is a classic.
Remember, Roman Catholic came back from 7 down in the final minute in the Philadelphia Catholic League final against Newman Goretti to take it to overtime. They won that game in overtime. Reading on this very floor in the District 3 title game got a last-second opportunity at the basket and ended up converting when they needed to beat Cumberland Valley and win the District 3 title. Both these teams know how to win late, and it's probably why we're here in the 5th stanza. There's a giveaway, though. Miscommunication.
Yep. Again, good ball pressure by Reading. Denied the wing a little bit, and the timing was off on that entry pass.
That's last touch by Xavier Brown. Got his hand in the passing lane. Ruben Rodriguez with just the 8 points, but my goodness, how he's impacted the game.
Yeah, he's played great.
Xavier Brown has 21. These were the 2 guards that everybody was here to see. 2 guys that just would not lose and will not lose. And a foul is called. Cottrell picks up his 4th, and Adish Rodriguez has a chance at the line again.
Yep, and he saw that opportunity to drive to that spot.
He missed the front end of the 1-and-1, up 1 in the final minutes, and really the final seconds of regulation.
What was it? 9 or 11, right?
It was 9.
Got that one.
The Reading family has shown up in full force here tonight.
On the edge of their seats.
And it's going to be a foul against Roman Catholic. Sharif Jackson to the line to shoot 2.
Yep.
I do think he was grabbed there.
I think they called that foul on Cruz, right?
Here's another look. It will go against Cruz. And it's just going to be the grab there. Maybe a little push from behind.
Yeah.
Roman Catholic, just the 8 team fouls. So the next one would still be 1-and-1 for Reading. Double bonus the rest of the way for the Kaolites of Roman Catholic. Sharif Jackson with all of Reading against him right now. Short. He had made his last 2 from the stripe.
And he looked good his last 2. See if he can make this one to tie it up again. Yep.
Deadlocked again. 30 seconds into overtime. Miles Gray's got Cottrell guarding him. Cottrell with 4 personal fouls. Only one on the floor on either team right now with the 4 personals. Ruben Rodriguez is defended by Will Felder. He also has 3 personal fouls.
Now they switch. Cottrell's back on Ruben Rodriguez.
Yadiel Cruz. Cruz got to a good spot. Adish Rodriguez lost the ball. And Finkley has it. And now potentially some numbers for Roman Catholic. Xavier Brown beats everybody down the floor.
Wow, what a move to the basket.
He'll shoot 2 at the line. Another look. Just finds the seam. Pretty impressive strength to get it on the rim.
And then swung back to the right side. A little bit off balance, but he had enough to get it up there and got fouled.
21 points, leads all scorers, and by a good margin here tonight. Second highest scorer is Sharif Jackson with 17. Leading scorer for Reading is 12. That's a tie between Miles Gray and Adish Rodriguez.
Yep, just a total team balanced effort on offense for Reading. Let's see if he knocks this one down. We got them both.
And it's a 2-point lead for Roman Catholic. They're looking for their 5th PIAA state title since 2008. And looking to keep the unblemished goose egg in the loss column here at the Giant Center. Chapman gets to the basket. It's blocked by Finkley.
Nice block by Finkley.
Chapman actually had a half step on him, you'll see here, but Finkley didn't panic, didn't foul, realized he had the length advantage. And frankly, that Chapman, Warren, was getting himself tied up underneath the basket.
Yep.
Miles Gray. Double team comes. What a job by Miles Gray. Ruben Rodriguez slices to the hole. Offensive foul. And Sharif Jackson takes yet another charge.
Another charge.
Get set. Take it in the chest. Now, I don't think Reading, will have any issues continuing the pressure. But Roman Catholic, I think it would be ill-advised to try to slow it down at this point.
No, keep looking to get the ball to Brown, get him in some ball screens and attack the basket.
Just with the absence of Jeremiah Stewart-Herring and Eric Oliver Bush, you're missing 2 of your leaders out there, 2 of your ball handlers. You have inexperienced guys out there on the floor.
Yep.
You throw that out against the ferocious Reading defense and try to play keep away, I think it's a recipe for disaster.
No, I agree. It's too much time left. They have to keep looking to score. Yep, and there's Brown. Go back and get the ball. They'll get out of his way. See if Reading tries to run it. There's a double team coming.
They do have 1 timeout. They got to get it across. And they do
did.
just in time.
We've got a high-low post here. And look at the help side in the paint there. So they have 3 against 5, basically. The help side is in the paint.
He's counting it off. And now they wave off the count. Brown. It's intercepted by Gray. Is Adish Rodriguez going to get there? Yes, he will. Gray for 3.
In and out.
And a foul is called against Felder. 1-and-1 coming for Yadiel Cruz. Another look, and Yadiel Cruz, the only red shirt in the area.
And he gets the ball. He made the 2 clutch foul shots, I believe, against Cumberland Valley.
To win the game.
To win the game.
He's got 1 clutch foul shot coming now, because if he doesn't make this one, the second one doesn't matter. Front end. Got it.
Yep. He's been there before.
On this floor. The site of the District 3 title game. shots from that kid. Tie game, 1:22 to go. Roman Catholic in control of their destiny with the ball in the hands of Xavier Brown. Brown fades away. It was short. And a foul is called. Oh, that's ill-advised.
Ill-advised. And we're sending Cruz back to the line. It gets the big rebound.
Huge rebound by Cruz. Yadiel Cruz on a senior-laden team, a junior. But he's been there before. He's ready for this moment. They clear out the lane for him.
Shooter's touch. Rolled it in. Bounce, bounce, roll, and goes in.
First lead of overtime for Reading. Missed the second, and Finkley pulls it down.
Now they have an all-out denial of Brown. Miles Gray denying Brown the ball.
Cottrell. Roman Catholic has a timeout if they need it. Brown has to touch the ball. Finkley, tough shot. Not a good look.
No, he tried to do that on his own. He fell away. Now Reading can spread it out. 35 seconds to go.
Here comes the double team. Tough spot to be. Adis Rodriguez poked away. Blocking foul. Felder was late to the spot.
And everybody's on their feet here at the Giant Center.
Another look, and just too late getting there from Felder.
Everybody's on their feet.
Double bonus time the rest of the way. Hey, even Warren Goodling is on his feet at this point. Will Felder is fouled out of the basketball game. So we'll take a minute. And Sebastian beg your pardon, it's going to be Bryce Hillman this time, coming in, number 11. And Adis Rodriguez, maybe just a little bit more time to think about it.
Yeah, just take a deep breath, do your routine, knock it down. Don't go to the line too early.
Reading broke the heart of Archbishop Wood and that senior-laden team 2 years ago in this building.
Yep.
Archbishop Wood returned the favor last year in the PIAA quarterfinals at Easton Area High School. That's the last loss by Reading in the postseason. Adis Rodriguez, he's been there for all of that. Looking to etch some more history into the annals of Reading basketball.
Got it.
(58-56). 24 seconds left. Yep. One timeout remaining for Roman Catholic.
And Reading will deny Brown the ball at all costs.
Adis Rodriguez, 2 for 2. Finkley. There's Brown. 20 seconds left.
They got time. Here comes a double team.
Xavier Brown got rid of the ball. Who's going to come up with it? Miles Gray. 11 seconds left and 2 shots to look to win a title. Xavier Brown, he drove into 4 defenders.
Drove into traffic. When the ball was loose, there was too many red shirts around it.
Miles Gray, the one to come up with it. At times, the forgotten man, a defensive specialist, a knockdown three-point shooter, and this year, a tremendous foul shooter. with the biggest ones he'll have in his career. Robert Cottrell has fouled out of the game.
He's fouled out. 2-shot foul here for Miles Gray.
Roman Catholic keeps that timeout. Chris McNesby knows he needs that timeout on a make to stop the clock, as the clock does not stop even under a minute after a made basket at the high school level. Miles Gray. Two-possession lead.
The Reading fans are smelling it now, aren't they?
A senior-laden team. One last swan song. Xavier Brown got to move quickly. It's off his foot. Kept in bounds by Chapman, and that'll do it. Put the cap on it, Audis.
Unbelievable.
Reading High. State champs. An overtime classic. Roman Catholic goes down, and Reading are the champs.
Rick Perez, what can you say about that coaching job and his kids?
A surreal moment for Reading and this community. Roman Catholic, they've been the big dogs at the 6A level for a long, long time. Most 6A titles since 2008. Anthony Finkley and Xavier Brown, their last dance. But today it's Ruben Rodriguez, Audis Rodriguez, Miles Gray, Rick Perez, and many others who are going to celebrate in the streets tonight.
And the whole town is going to celebrate. What time does the parade start in Reading tonight?
How long does it take to get back there? You tell me.
Probably about an hour.
Then I think in an hour, plus the ceremonies after the game here. It'll be a wild night in Reading, a deserving champion, 63-56, an overtime thriller. Congratulations, Reading fans. Yep. You are the best in PA at the 6A level this year.
Absolutely.
One loss to your name all season long.
Got the big one tonight. Those summer workouts at 6 o'clock in the morning at Reading High by Rick Perez. This is the reason why, right here.
In just a moment, we'll send it down to Bob Schellenberg, who will introduce the Kaolites of Roman Catholic, the runners-up, and then they'll award the state championship trophy to the Red Knights of Reading. And we'll turn it down to Bob Schellenberg right now.
First of all, for Roman Catholic, their managers, Shak Sacco, Ahmed Kita, and Joseph Dever. Introducing the players, Robert Sproul IV, Bryce Hillman, Sammy Jackson, Justin Ezekwu, Jaden Roundbaler, Sebastian Edwards, William Felder, Sharif Jackson. Robert Cottrell. Eric Oliver Bush. Jermaine Stewart Herring. Anthony Finkley. Xavier Brown. Dan Hoban. Assistant coaches, Ryan Watts, Manny Taylor, Joe Ferrero, Cal Bernard, Bill Gobeek, Athletic Director Ryan Hawes, and Assistant Principals, Activity Directors Maggie Canavan and Renee Park, and the head coach of Roman Catholic High School, Chris McNesby. And now, District 12 Chairman Michael Hawkins, District 12 Vice Chairman Joseph Setti would like Xavier Brown, Anthony Finke, Jeremiah Stewart Herring, Eric Oliver Bush step forward as you will now receive the 2026 PIAA Class 6A runner-up trophy. What a season for the Kaolites of Roman Catholic High School. Congratulations. And now it is time to meet your 2023 PIAA Class 6A. They're your champions, the Red Knights of Reading High. Head coach Rick Perez will bestow the medals, beginning with Amir Verdeen, Yadiel Cruz, Ruben Rodriguez, Miles Gray, Nick Chapman, Kyle Samuel, Andres Rodriguez, Nico Sosa, Wesley Rosario, Messiah Jonah, Daquan Burgess, Ezra Jackson, Jadiah Ortega, and Malik Osamanu. Athletic trainer Natalie Miller. Assistant coaches Janet Hangen, Jamie Odegaard, Demrick Waglinski, Quincy Twyman, Brian Richardson, Ruben Rodriguez, Sean Richardson, Brian Bankert, and assistant coach Francis Camara. And the head coach of the Red Knights, Rick Perez. And now, Assistant Executive Director of the PIAA, Jennifer Crossell, would like Amir Verdeen, Ruben Rodriguez, Miles Gray, Andres Rodriguez, if you'll please step forward as you are now presented a 5-pound chocolate bar from Chocolate World, and also the 2023 PIAA Class 6A Championship Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Knights of Reading High. Congratulations.
A Rick Perez-led club. Rick Perez, one of the genuinely good guys in this business. There are a lot of them, and he is in that top tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe Dempsey, head coach of Springford and a friend of Rick Perez, said point blank to me when he was preparing for Rick and this Reading team in his semifinal, if I needed to pick a guy to build a program from scratch, and from scratch, I mean maybe the talent hadn't been there in the past, maybe the community needed revitalization, and maybe the kids needed, that really good influence in life, that he would pick nobody but Rick Perez. And I think that really says something.
It says it all.
And Rick has brought this very proud historical program in this proud historical city in the eastern half of Pennsylvania and turned it into a dynasty. 3 titles since 2017.
Yep.
One of those years we didn't even have a state tournament. And they were really good that year, by the way.
Yep, by the way, they were.
This is in dynastic territory right now. Reading High School wins again. And oh, by the way, it always seems to be a classic when they hoist the trophy, doesn't it?
It's a classic, yep.
Congratulations to Reading. Congratulations to Roman Catholic as well on a wonderful season.
Great season.
It's the way sports are. Somebody has to lose, and in a game like this, it makes it tug at your heartstrings even more because Roman Catholic deserved everything they had today as well.
They played a great game. They were down. They came fighting back, and they showed exactly what they were made of. Reading's an outstanding team, and they proved it tonight. And so's Roman Catholic. Somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose.
And in a game like this, you want everybody to bring their best stuff.
Yeah.
And I think both teams brought their best stuff
I agree
tonight.
with that, yep.
It's a heck of a way to end a 12-game gauntlet here at the PIAA Championships, the Giant Center. And I mean this quite genuinely. There's no group of people that would do a better job and that I'd rather do it with than you guys here. Want to thank Bruce Badgley, who did the broadcast for the girls' game on the play-by-play side. I really want to thank Del Jackson, who stepped in as the analyst this year on those girls' games. Those guys were a tremendous duo, and Bruce did a great job while he was down on the floor getting interviews during these boys' games. I want to thank Dave and Alicia Emenheiser from Starbright Media. I've had the honor to work with them for the last couple of years here for football, basketball, and baseball. Top-rate professionals. Starbright Media is an excellent production company. They put on a production worthy of these games, which is an extremely high level of play. And we need to bring an extremely high level of broadcast to the folks at home. Partner, Hall of Famer, Warren Goodling.
A lot of fun this week, for sure. Tonight was the icing on the cake, right?
Sure was. You're a true professional. You were a great coach. You're an excellent broadcaster. I don't know which you're better at. It means you're really good at both, buddy. And a good friend as well. Thanks for doing it with me.
It's my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
And for all of those people and everyone else behind the scenes, the writers, the fans, my broadcast partners throughout the course of the regular season and postseason, for everyone that's made this a joy for me and allowed me the information, the access, and really the love of this to come out and do this. I want to thank you all. My name is Bob Long, saying so long from the Giant Center. The Reading Red Knights, the champs in 2023, 3 straight since 2017. Rick Perez, take a bow, my friend. Adish Rodriguez, Miles Gray, Ruben Rodriguez, 2,000-point scorer, Ruben Rodriguez. Congratulations. Enjoy the night. This will be your legacy. Good night, everybody.